Hi everyone. Are you a college going student or you are in the school? If yes, then this topic would be a boon for you. It could change the life, how you transition from your college life to the corporate life, and then how you should perform, how you should behave, how you should act in the corporate setting. So today's session would be campus to corporate transition. So how well you transition from your campus life to the corporate life, and then how your life changes in terms of your daily routine, what you do in your daily lives when you are in college, and how it transition to the corporate life, and what changes in your daily routine you get once you are in the corporate. So we'll discuss all these aspects in detail. So let's start it without wasting a lot of time. Let's move ahead. So first we need to understand what threshold expectation of corporate world is. So the corporate world wants disciplined and punctual people. So it wants that there should be punctuality and discipline in you, no absenteeism, you shouldn't be absent, ethical and honest, you should have integrity. Now let's understand this term integrity well. So integrity simply means doing the right thing when nobody is watching you. So if nobody is watching you, and even if you do the right thing without getting observed by anyone, then you have strong integrity. You should be polite and respectful. You should be customer oriented. You should be committed and responsible for your task. You should take accountability, and you should have balanced temperament. So these are some thresholds, and based on that, you need to transition yourselves from campus to corporate moving. So when you are moving it, it's transition according to that. We have some differences between the corporate life and the campus life. So in campus, you focus on only learning that takes place. It's like you focus on learning a lot. However, in corporate, you focus on learning, but you earn as well with learning. Campus creates the foundation for the future. It builds you for future. It builds you for your career aspiration. However, corporate builds the career, hence the future both. So from college, you get the base foundation of your future. But once you start working, you build the complete career, and from base, you start building the mansion. In campus, a student enjoys more freedom. You have no foundation. Sometimes you skip classes, sometimes you bunk classes, nobody's gonna ask you anything. So you are not controlled by anyone. But once you move to corporate, an employee has to be more responsible. You have to be very punctual. You can't be late. Even at some companies, you have to do the punching in time. And if you are even sometimes late for some seconds, your half of the day gets rejected. Your exams are the major qualifying criteria in your campus. However, evaluation is done on the daily basis in the corporate setting. In exam, you would have 75% of theory and 25% of practical, but at work, you would be working 100% practically. Whatever you learned throughout your journey, whatever you learned in your 2 years of MBA, the same learning would be used for 32 to 40 years of your corporate journey. So you need to upskill yourselves like with time. You have to keep doing some certificates, upskill yourselves in terms of tool and technical knowledge, so that you could be always compatible enough at a workplace. One of the more trending examples could be upgraded with the AIOs. In campus, it is up to you and it doesn't affect others. However, in corporate, your actions, your performance is highly interlinked with all of the team members, all of your leaders, all of your managers. With that, you need to understand some business etiquette. So in business etiquette, you should grasp that your body language plays 55% role of the communication etiquette. Then your tone is more important, and it also has at least a value of 38%, and at around some part of your communication etiquette wherein words matter. So here we can understand that the way you sit, the way you talk, the way you connect with people, it matters more than what you speak. How you dress, how you keep your hair, how your body language is, it matters. Then your tone plays the second role. The best example could be if you have to use the word hello to a 1 year young kid, then you might say hello. However, if you have to use the same word with a boss, and if you have to say hello to your boss, you will say hello or hello sir, hello Ravi, very good morning. So the tone changes as per the person, tone changes as per the age, and even tone changes as per the connections. So this is the base of developing your business etiquettes, wherein you should be focusing highly on your body language and tone, and then your words. So introduction of the first impression. It is said that first impression is the last impression. I will say that first impression is the best impression. First impression is emotional but not rational. So it isn't the case that your first impression is always the best impression, no. But when you see people for the first time, just for the beginning, just for initial some moments, you focus on the way the person looks, the way person interacts, and the way person is groomed, etc. So we judge a book by its cover for some moments. But once you spend time with a person, you live with the person, once you know well what kind of personality someone holds, what kind of knowledge someone has, then you start respecting the person based on their intrinsic values. So you can conclude in a way that first impression is emotional, but it is very important because there are many people you might not meet for a long period of time. And once you know a person, then intrinsic values matter. One of the best examples could be if you are learning from a same teacher for a long period of time, then you respect the person, respect the teacher for the knowledge. Same goes for a manager, you respect the person for their personality type. But if you are randomly traveling in a train, metro, or maybe you are flying to a different place, you see a lot of people randomly. How do you judge them? You judge them based on their dress sense, their looks, even sometimes their brand, clothing, etc. So you should greet people, greeting with a smile. One can use hello or hi. You can say good morning, good evening, if you have the very formal connection with the person. It will depend on the day, and this shows the first impression and the first connection. So there is no harm in using hello and hi the moment you see a person. It builds a good connection. And then after that, you can go ahead with introduction once you greet a person. So here, some moments, the moment you interact with a person, you have just some moments in the beginning wherein people are curious about knowing about you, and you have just some moments to even build the good impression in front of them. So you can introduce yourselves in brief. You can talk about you, your likes, dislikes, somewhere what location you come from, or what you do in your daily lives, etc. And if you are working somewhere in a role wherein you have to wear an iCard, you have to wear a nameplate, then you wear it, carry it so well, don't keep it in the pocket. Right? And you make appropriate eye contact while communicating with people, because eye contact talks about more than what you speak. So if you look into the eyes of people, you appear to be more confident and people find you interesting to talk. Next, one of the etiquettes which you should learn, that is doing a handshake. So you should have a firm handshake but not the softer one. So if you initiate your handshake to someone, your hand should be solid and it should be firm. It shouldn't be softer. And try to initiate a handshake with a straight hand. Don't keep it as like you are dominating someone or you are under control of someone. So just don't raise your handshake like that or like that. Better you go ahead with keeping it straight and with the firm power. With this, you should take care one thing, that whenever you initiate your handshake, you shouldn't initiate it for your seniors. So if you have your manager, you're meeting someone for the first time but they are senior to you, you can greet them but you should never initiate your handshake. You can wait, and if they are initiating handshake, then you should proceed further with shaking hand. So this you need to remember, because a lot of people who are coming from college, they don't know that how to approach the situation wherein you are meeting this person first time and either you should initiate the handshake or not. So this would be quite better for your understanding. Next is the comfort zone. In college, you would be having a lot of friends, a lot of classmates. You visit cafes with them, you enjoy with them, you have parties with them. However, in the corporate setting, you should have your personal space. And people should also have their personal space, so you shouldn't break their personal space. I will say that you can simply open your hands and make a circle anywhere. Just you stand up, open your hands, and just you flip around once. The moment you do it, you would have a bigger circle around you. Try not to let people enter this circle until you are very close to them. And if you aren't close to them, they are just colleagues and not even your friends, better you keep these people or your colleagues or even other members at your office or in your personal life away from the circle. Once you know someone, once you are acquainted with people, you have spent a lot of time with them, it would be better that you let them enter and now they can move into your personal circle. Moving ahead, you need to understand body language, wherein what to do, what not to do in terms of having a positive body language. So you should have a faint smile. A faint smile is far different from having a laugh. So you shouldn't laugh, you should have a faint smile, like very minor smile that is visible that you are wearing a smile and you aren't sounding way too serious or your expressions aren't way too serious. Rest, you maintain that level of smile, that's all. Don't look very nervous. I don't think that you can avoid being nervous in any situation. You can be nervous, it's okay. Everyone gets nervous at some point of time in their lives. However, there are some points, some paths, some actions which are done by you that makes it visible, or those all actions make it visible that your actions are clearly showing that you are nervous, somewhere you are anxious about something, or you aren't feeling confident. Those actions could be keeping your hands over the table while talking to people and then twisting fingers, or somewhere patting your toes and then creating some sound, or just shivering somewhere while talking, your hands are shivering. So you can avoid these all the actions by hiding them. You can sit straight, keep your hands on the table, and after that you communicate very slow. You can slow down the pace of speech so that you have sufficient time to think, and after thinking you can articulate it quite well. Next is don't stand, sit, or with shrugged shoulders. So it is called shrug. So you have this gym exercise shrugging. So you sometimes you act like people ask a question, you say I don't know. So try not to have your shrugged shoulders, drop them down, and sit straight, stand straight, and then talk to people. Acknowledgements, nods, mirror expressions. Definitely when you are communicating with people, when you are meeting people and you are moving in the corporate setting for the first time, you might not have the habit of always responding. You might not have responded always in your college life, but you should acknowledge by either nodding, asking questions whenever sitting in a meeting, and if any discussion is going on, you should also participate in the meeting so that your acknowledgement is considered and you are considered as one of the active team members, or you can feel comfortable with the new members over there. Uncross your arms and legs. So crossing your arms shows that you are completely control in yourselves. However, you aren't open to people, so you don't want people to let be comfortable with you, or you don't want people to open up with you. So you want that, okay, I am fine, however I don't feel comfortable, so you just are completely congested with your own thoughts. Same if you sit with the crossed legs. Again, it should be maintained in a way that you are sitting on a chair with a 90-degree angle. So keep both of your legs on the floor, and after that sit, and then you should have a straight body language. Look calm and approachable. So you shouldn't look as people get afraid of you. You should be having a charming personality wherein people feel comfortable while talking to you. So if they think of contacting you for something, you should be approachable. You should be available so that people can get connected with you through any mean, either it is call, message, email, and you should have those expressions so that people find it comfortable to connect with you. Once you develop your body language, you develop your expressions, eye contact, fin smile, then dress and attire matters. You should dress appropriately. Now, what could be the appropriate dress? So you can't wear a gym suit or gym dress in the office, or you can't wear suits for the gym. You can't wear a wedding dress for a morning walk. So each place, each setting has one sort of dress. So you should wear appropriate dress according to the requirement. If you are going to the office or commuting to the office, wear a suit, wear formals, wear the lighter colored shirt. It could be white, faded white, it could be sky blue, it could be another light color, could be light pink, etc. So these could be the shirts. You can proceed further with any dark colored pens. It could be navy blue, it could be black, it could be dark gray, and so on. If you are wearing suits, you can have navy blue suit, black, you can have dark gray suit, and then you can match it up with the lighter color shirts. It would be the better shirt or dress combination with your suits. You can wear minimal accessories, try to carry a watch, comb your hair well, keep your beard trimmed, and try to have your shoe and your belt of the same color. You can prefer black classic, black leather shoes and black leather belts. That could go so well. You should be groomed well. In this groom, I will be talking about your body hygiene, oral hygiene, and definitely your hair and your grooming. So beard, haircut, brush every day, have your mouth freshener if you think that you breathe bad. And with this, you can also try that have a perfume that gives you the better smell, but you shouldn't prolong it with a lot of perfume. So you should smell well. You can prefer any of the deodorant or scent, but use it lighter so that you don't smell bad and you don't have a bad body odor. However, it isn't also way too much that you are including a lot of perfume. And you can remove your unnecessary body hair so that you are clean and the sweat doesn't get collected somewhere so that it smells bad. Avoid casual wear for business meetings. Definitely don't go for t-shirts and pants for business meets. Always wear formals and suits. Well brushed teeth and fresh breath is there. Clean and trimmed fingernails should be there. Your nails should be trimmed well, and if somewhere these are longer, you should be cleaned well. Minimal perfume or cologne. So first impression matters. So when you visit someone, first they see your dress and how well you are groomed. Now, hearing versus listening. These are the two terms which are one of the famous terms in the corporate industry. Whether you should listen to someone or you should hear someone, it depends on at what situation you are. Wherever you get naturally, any sound you hear naturally, that is hearing. Maybe you are sitting in a meeting, but somebody is keyboarding, so you can hear that sound of keyboarding. That's hearing. Maybe any vehicle is honking out, so everything is hearing. However, listening comes with when you are focusing at something and you are being very careful. You can make hearing passive and make listening active. So whatever comes to your ears, you can avoid that and you can listen to the person carefully in any meeting or at any place. Listen twice as much as you speak. So don't start speaking the moment you got the first sentence of someone. Better you should first pay attention and then listen to the question, listen to the person very carefully so that you have sufficient time to respond on the complete message which you are getting delivered. Do not interrupt the speaker, let him finish. So you should focus on that if somebody is speaking already, at the place of objecting someone and then starting your answer, better let the person finish so that you can also process your brain to collect your ideas, collect your thoughts to deliver the answer of it. So it can happen during interviews a lot. If you didn't hear the interviewer quite well and you started answering the question, you might end up answering something which the interviewer never asked because he never could finish the question. And then here interviewer has the advantage to say easily that I wanted to ask something, even though if the interviewer wanted to ask the same question, but they have the advantage because you didn't hear them properly. Do not jump to the conclusion until the speaker has finished speaking. So it's simple, we have already discussed. If you are listening to someone, you're sitting in a meeting, you are paying attention, do not reach to any kind of decision without listening to them properly. They might start with a message and that could perceive as something else to you. But the moment they finish it, then you will know, okay, I didn't mean that. It happens a lot during training sessions. It happens a lot during training sessions when you see that a teacher is teaching a topic and you have a lot of questions. And then the teacher says that let me finish the topic and then after we'll discuss, because the teacher knows that there are the points which I'll be covering moving forward and you will be able to get the same questions covered during that part. Stay away from assumptions. So do not assume anything. Do not make any assumptions and don't try to think and imagine when something isn't the truth. And how you know it without assuming it. So you don't assume it, you wait and watch, you see, and then respond after thinking a lot. While developing your body language and when you work on your paths wherein you have to do well in terms of your body language, in terms of dress sense, in terms of grooming, you also need to develop some telephonic etiquettes, because you see that whenever you apply for a job or you are going for any job application, you'll find out that you receive the first call, that is by the HR, and you go for telephonic round of interview. Then how you communicate, how you talk to them, that matters. So while placing a call, you should greet them first. After greeting, you should listen to them carefully, and then you should start developing the communication. Same goes when you are talking to someone over a call in the corporate setting, talking with your colleagues or a manager. It is always better to ask first if it is a good time to talk to them. Keep the time in mind. If you have asked them that, can you please give me 5 minutes or may I borrow your 2 minutes? Try to finish a conversation within 2 minutes or within the set time. Be clear about the reason of your call and do not ring again and over again. Sometimes it might happen that you have 2-3 topics together and you want to discuss with them. You might forget, or some of the point could get slipped from your brain. It's better to always note it down or take down somewhere on a piece of paper. So while calling, you cover all those points which you wanted to discuss at the first place. However, when you are answering it, try to have the friendly tone. Try to listen to them carefully. Try to get at least the permission before you place your answer, you place your dialogue, or you talk about what you want to say. And then after that, you can end it with the proper tone and by greeting that thanks a lot for calling, because now you are the listener. So you can greet them, you can have the pleasant tone, and after that, you should disconnect the call. Words could be please, sorry, thank you. So these words are, we call them polite words, polite phrases. You can prefer using them and then you communicate. Business meeting etiquettes also are important, wherein you should be punctual. So you might say that your strength is you are punctual. However, the first day you are going late. So that isn't going to work out. You should be punctual to all the meetings and you shouldn't reach office late ever. You should be aware of the agenda of the meeting and prepare well for it. If you are asked to participate in a meeting and you have to ask questions, you can prepare questions in advance so that you can put in those questions there in the meet and you can be one of the active candidates, active employees in the meet. You knock before meeting, so it's like simple. If 2 people are already sitting in the office and you have to interrupt them or you have to meet someone, better you knock. First you get a permission and then you go. Be attentive and keep the cell phone switched off or on silent during the meeting. So try to keep your phone switched off. How awkward it would be that you are in an important meeting and your phone rings in. Dining etiquette. You would be like, why do we have to learn dining etiquettes? I don't know how often you eat out or how often you eat in 5-star hotel or maybe in a 3-star hotel. Once you start working, you might be invited on a business meet, business perhaps party, and you don't know the table etiquette. It would be so embarrassing for you, wherein you might be sitting with everyone and there is the dining table and you have the cutlery and you don't know how to use that appropriately. So how or what you can do? So first we'll understand some points theoretically, then I'll show you that how a table etiquette looks like, what cutlery you can use for what. So do not rush into the dining, let the host lead. So you should go as other team members are going. Keep the cell phone switched off or on silent while on a business eating, business dinner. You can keep it on but with the lower volume. That ask someone to pass the food rather than reaching for it. It's the better one. Don't just stand up and go take it, or you are just trying to push a lot hard to just grab the table, grab the meal. Better you ask that, can you please pass the meal, pass the food. Do not talk with the food in the mouth. So definitely you're eating rice and you're talking, or maybe some pieces of rice goes on someone else's plate. So it would be like way too informal, way too embarrassing. So please keep your mouth closed and do not talk while eating. Even if you are talking by any means, please don't look at them. Look at the table and look at your plate and then talk. And you should never sit with a person face to face on the table if you need to talk to them. Always sit with a person beside. For an example, if there are two people and you both are going together and you generally talk to them, so better sit beside and then eat and then talk, because if you are sitting face to face and then talking, the way you chew meal and everything is visible, and definitely that view isn't that appreciative. Do not rest the elbows or arms on the table. Yeah, you should keep your elbows and arms under the table or maybe on the chair rester. Avoid loud eating noises such as slurping, burping, or the way you take soup could be avoided. Picking teeth and licking fingers is very unattractive. Yeah, even if you have to pick it, take the toothpicker, go to washroom, clean your teeth, and then come back. So this should be followed. And there are many other guidelines which you can gradually understand once you move out, once you eat with people. Try to keep your one hand always free. I would recommend always use one hand and just keep one hand free for picking up the tissue paper, picking up the call, because if you are walking, you might have some important calls which you can't avoid. So it's better to keep your one hand free so that the moment you touch phone, it isn't oily and it has a lot of meal or food or foods particles in it. You can see that there is a picture of a table over there on the screen. So these are some feedback sharing positions of the knife and fork. My question here is that if you have a fork and a knife, then in which hand you hold a knife and which hand you hold a fork? You can guess. Okay, so you should hold the knife in the stronger hand because you need a lot power to cut the piece of the meal. Once you cut it, then you can use fork to pick it up and then eat it. So stronger hand should go with the knife and weaker hand should go with the fork. So first you see here that the first plate wherein the position of the fork is left or right knife, it is starting the meal, and you have kept your fork like left a bit tilt and the knife over it, then it is a break. This position simply means you're on a pause. Pause and break can go together simultaneously. This position of the fork and knife shows that you are finished. This one shows there is a next dish. This position is excellent, and if you are here, you keep the knife inside the fork and then you keep it, it's bad, and here it means that your service is not bad. So these are some of the table etiquettes, and you can take the screenshot to understand it quite well and try to use it. And at least once you are there in the business meet, you should use these dining etiquettes appropriately. With that, you can also understand how well you use the complete cutlery, where to keep the handkerchief, where to keep the tissue paper. You will have a lot of cutlery on the plate, either to use all of them or some. So you should plan, you should learn so that your etiquettes are final enough. It might not matter a lot to you, but it makes you way too disciplined and it makes you appear well and you portray yourself quite professional, which you might not be in a college. Then moving ahead, we will talk about what 3 classes of skills are there which are required in the corporate setting. So we have those classes, that is technical skills, people skill, and managerial skills. So basic know how to do a task. So know how of a task, how to finish a task, that is basic part, and that is the part of technical skills. You might not even get hired without technical skills. So if you are working somewhere, you are hired, it simply means you got selected based on your technical skills and technical knowledge. Process of knowledge, process, possession, tool, everything is part of technical skill. Then we have people skill. So people skill is how to influence peers, how to build good relation, good rapport, how to have stronger relationship with the stakeholders, juniors, seniors. So how you manage the complete people, could be your team, out of the team, internal stakeholders, external stakeholders, is under people skill. Then managerial skills like how to plan, organize, implement, and improve. Like how you plan a day. For an example, in a college, you might not plan your day. You just wake up way too late. Then you reach college, you take some classes and come back. But once you start working, once you transition to the corporate, you need to plan your day. You might need to reach office at 8. So to reach office at 8, at what time you need to wake up? You might get hired in the US timings, you need to work in the night shift. You might get hired in the Australian timings, wherein the time to reach office could be 6 a.m. in the morning or 5 a.m. in the morning. So to reach 5 a.m. in the morning, you might need to wake up at 3 a.m. in the morning. So you need to manage, plan, and organize so well so that your routine doesn't get hampered. We will understand these 3 skills in the deeper way. We'll go in depth one by one. So for technical skills, mostly used as a lower level of hierarchy. So most of the freshers, most of the people who have just graduated, you will be getting hired to the entry level positions, wherein you are the first from the lowest hierarchy, or you are first from the bottom. So you work for everyone, but no one works under you. So these skills are highly required in that role. Quick learning of products and processes is required. So if you are working as an entry level person or as an entry level role, wherein you need to understand the process so well, understand how work is being done, what tasks are to be completed, and at what time, within what deadline is to be done. Does not stop at working knowledge level, so you have to keep working. Error-free work more important than speed. So you have to avoid making errors. You need to keep your work flawlessly, wherein no error is there, and you complete a task in time as well. So even deadlines matter. Awareness about business environment and industry dynamics is also important. Let's assume you come from data science background. So what tools are getting used in the market? What tools are in trending? What tools the organization work with? You need to be aware of everything. So you should be veteran in terms of the technical knowledge. After this, we'll understand how people skills work. So teamwork and win-win position. So you should be a good team player. Companies want to hire a person who could cope up with the team so well, because you won't be working on the individual projects always. You have to work with the team, because there could be the larger projects and you have to partake in that project impactfully. You have to manage your coaches, juniors. You have to participative and not instructor. So you can understand this way. You should participate as much as you can. You should listen to people carefully. You should take care of your juniors. You should be having good connections with your managers. How you build it? The way you manage people, the way you talk to people. Listen, respects others' views. So definitely do not interrupt in between, as we discussed previously. Listen to people carefully. Once you listen to them, respect them, and respect their time, respect their words. And you also should believe in juniors if you are working as a manager, because being a manager, when managing people, you might be very sure of your skills. You need to verify the task, but not letting the person do or pointing out a lot of mistake, it isn't the way you should lead. So better you should give the space and you should give the feedback. And after the feedback, let your junior or subordinate complete the task, so that you have him working on himself and he also has a space to develop and grow in his field. With people skills, how you work on managerial skills. So you should know how to prioritize. So you should make the to-do list. You can use some techniques, some tools like Trello, Trello. This is the tool wherein you can manage a to-do list and complete it and submit. You can use sticky notes you have in Microsoft Windows, sticky notes, so that you can prioritize tasks. You should know which one to do first, which one to do second. Try to cover and finish bigger tasks first and the smaller tasks later. Ability to take decisions with limited information. So you might not have the complete information, and somewhere you need to believe in your decision and you need to initiate it. You have to be proactive and plan in advance. Execution oriented, acquires work other than assigned work. So try to take more accountability and responsibility. Passion for creating new benchmark, new set, and accepting the changes and managing the changes with time. So this is how you can develop managerial skills. 2 years of learning is used for 32 years. This is somewhere you need to get that. Let's assume you did an MBA. Once you did an MBA, whatever time you spent in MBA, you will be using the same knowledge for upcoming all the years you are going to work, for all the years. But whatever you learn today will it be compatible enough after 20 years? Will it be compatible enough after 30 years? It might not be, and that is why you should keep upskilling yourselves. That is why you should keep upskilling yourselves. You should pursue some certificate courses, develop your tools knowledge, and understand the industry requirement and grow and keep yourselves updated with the needs of the industry. So now we'll be understanding management lessons from 3 Idiot movies. Okay. So first management session is that never try to be successful. Now we will understand management lessons from 3 Idiots movie. So first management lesson is never try to be successful. So success is the byproduct. Excellence always creates success. So never run after the success. Let it happen automatically in the life. So you should work on primarily on. So you should work on your skills, your knowledge, your skills. Keep upskilling yourselves with the industry required skills and the tools, so that success runs behind you. If you have experience in tools knowledge, if you are expert with the industry requirement skills, success would run behind you. Next point is passion leads to excellence. So when your hobby becomes your passion, then passion leads to excellence. I would recommend always make the SMART plan. Now, what SMART plan is, what your career goals are, it should be dependent on what you always loved doing. If you always love doing math, you always love doing some specific subject, and then after that you are switching the subject once you graduated, or you are trying to find a career in a different field, it would be challenging and a bit difficult for you. So what you do, you first observe yourselves, see your background, what graduation degree you did, what certification courses you hold, and after that you move ahead with the career planning, so that if your passion is with your work, you will get the excellence. Learning is very simple. So learning is very simple. Learners never fail. So learning is never complicated or difficult. Learning is always possible, whatever rule you apply. So it can't happen that learning becomes difficult for you. If you want it, you can do it. So if you want to learn, there is no difficulty in it. There is no complicacy in it. It isn't complicated at all. You can easily learn. Just the rule which applies here is that you should have the will to learn. Management lessons. Next point is importance of one word in communication. If communication dies, everything dies. Each word has impact and value in communication. If you can see that when this speech happens, so he changes one word at some places, and now if used wrongly, one word is used wrongly or emphasized wrongly or paused at the wrong place in communication, what effects it creates and how it affected is demonstrated very well in this movie. So you understand, I cannot explain the speech there, but you know that just one word when it was changed in the speech, then how horrible the scenario was. Good. Great. So this was in brief about how we can manage, how we can groom well, how we can transition from campus to corporate, how we can develop in terms of grooming, dress sense, communication, etc. Now we have some corporate work-life elements. So according to the Quality of Work-Life Organizational Performance Research, there are 5 elements of corporate work lives are: everyone wants job satisfaction, people need motivation, productivity in their lives, their health should be better, job security and safety and well-being. But out of these all, how or what we are getting? Are we able to get job satisfaction? Are you having motivation at your workplace? Is there productivity, health, job security and safety and well-being there? But being a fresher, being a recent graduate, we expect it. It also includes a safe work environment, occupational health care, appropriate working time and appropriate salary. So these are the minimum expectations or expectations which we all have. But you will find a lot of challenges over there. You will find the challenges of unrealistic demands. People who start their career in sales, people who start their careers in data-driven projects, they have a lot of demands, a lot of compulsion to finish the assignment on time. Unsupportive relationships, you might not have way too much supportive your company staff, your colleagues, your manager. You might have lack of resources. You have learned multiple tools which are required in the industry, but you might get hired in a company wherein resources aren't appropriate, or whatever resources are required, those aren't there. So need to work under the resources, but still you need to manage. Unhelpful attitude, no skill could be with you. You might not have the skill to do it, but you could get through the interview, or you could have high stress levels wherein you are unable to manage that. So how successful transition at the workplace could be if the onboarding process is streamlined, position specific process is there, you know what your role includes, weekly touch points, if you get weekly feedback on how you can improve, what you can improve, having standard operating procedure, that what the process is being followed, and delegation of tasks to various team members. If you are given the task, whatever task you can do, then it is the appropriate delegation of the task. So great, that's all like for today's class. At the end, we'll just discuss in brief that what learning methodology you can use to grow in your life. So there is a simple framework, LEAP. LEAP stands for learn, experiment, evaluate and perform. And LEAP method can work so well if you're starting your career. First, you should learn as much as you can. After that, you use your learning, experiment your learning, then evaluate. Once you have learned, then you experiment your learning. You check how well you have learned it, how well you are able to use it. After that, you do evaluate, check either your learning is impactful, it is accurate, and then you use it as performance. So that's in brief for today. I hope the session was quite helpful. You can comment in the chat box so that we can have better sessions in future. We'll catch you in the next class. Thank you.